All right, I'm back. Here I am, and I've been moving for like 2.5 weeks. Well, really, a day in the move, but just packing and unpacking and there's mayhem and chaos everywhere, and the new place is fantastic. You'd be glad to hear I got a new shotgun mic, so things should sound a lot better. It's my first time using that as well. I'm still working my way through some of the features. And in my old place, there was carpet everywhere. In this one, it's all tile. So I may still have to throw down a rug in this room that I'm in right now just to help soften the echo or nullify it, however. But yeah, moving on. Someone has shined. It's a cross between signed and shine. Maybe like a Jewish version called Shine. Anyway, Kevin Shattenkirk has signed with the Tampa Bay Lighting, who sure like them deep fried Rangers now, don't they? Unbelievable. They just keep on going back to that well. But hey, as you may or may not know, I'm a Maple Leaf fan, and I'm a little jealous they didn't go out and grab this guy, especially seeing as he's a right shot defenseman and all. Albeit he's 30, and he's from Rochelle, New York. He's 6 foot, 206 pounds. Tampa's paying him $1.75 million. So they got him on the cheap, and I know the Leafs are right up near they're way over the cap at the moment, but they have LTIR, and I'm sure for $1.75 million, I'm sure they could have made some changes here and there. But I'm not going to make this about the Leafs. Let's get back to Shattenkirk. I just love saying that name. All right, so now when he was playing with the Blues all those years ago, from 2013 to 2017. He was playing on a $4.25 million contract. Of course, 2016-17 season, he split that with the Capitals of Washington, and then he became a free agent. He signed with New York, his hometown, his home state, and they threw him a money bag of $6.650 million. Of course, they just bought him out because his numbers have just been super poopy right now. Let's be honest. In his last season there, in 73 games, he had 2 goals, 26 assists for 28 points, and was a minus 15. Now he's had some injuries and some rough luck regarding that over the past couple seasons during his tenure with New York. But in his first year, he only played 46 games, had 5 goals, 18 assists for 23 points, and was a minus 14. So now it seems that the tail end of his career, he tends to lean on that in that minus category. But seeing as how he's a defenseman, you got to give him at least a little bit of slack, especially with the number of minutes he's been playing. In New York, I think he was averaging just under 19 or maybe around 18 and a half minutes per game. Now, in the season, he split between Washington and St. Louis. He had 13 goals for 56 points, and was a combined, minus 7, minus 7 overall. However, in Washington, he was a plus 4, and then in the playoffs with them in 13 games, he had 1 goal, 5 assists, and was a minus 4. Still not too bad for one of their top pairing defensemen there. And I'm sure Washington would have done that again, albeit they didn't win the cup that season. And here we are with Tampa, who just they snag another good player at albeit an accelerated age for a pretty good price point. And I'm also referring to Curtis McElhinney, who they got up in that backup goaltender position, who's 36 years old, and they gave him $1.3 million over the next 2 seasons. And for the last 2 seasons between the Hurricanes and the Maple Leafs, he's been playing pretty well. So, and then there's what do they do with Louis Dominique? It seems like they would bury him in the minors, along with Mike Condon there. But yeah, I'm just going to reverse and let's back to Shattenkirk. So here's the Tampa Bay defense right now. So you got Victor Hedman on the left, and then on the right side, you've got Hedman, McDonough, Coburn, Sergachev on the left side. So really, we're talking about Hedman, McDonough, and Sergachev, left side defense. On the right, this is where it gets interesting. So there's Cernak, who's making just under $700,000 for another year. He's on right D. There's Luke Shen, who they just signed for $700,000 league minimum. There's Jan Ruta as well, and then there's Shattenkirk. So it really makes you wonder. I would think they'd have him on the second pairing, with Cernak possibly playing in the first with Hedman. I don't know. That's or even Ruta maybe plays in that top pairing with Hedman. We'll see how this is going to muster. That right side for Tampa Bay, they're extremely strong on the left. The right, not so much. And they've got all these one-year contracts, these floating players. We'll see how that works out. I'm very curious to see how that how everything meshes from one player to the next. Yeah, so that's it. This video's been pretty long enough. Tell me what you think of this signing by Tampa Bay and how mad you are that your team didn't go out and sign Kevin Shattenkirk for a measly $1.75 million. I know he wasn't worth what he was making at the Rangers, but for a guy who, for the most part of his career, had like 40-point seasons. I mean. Where am I here? Tampa Bay Lighting. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so with the St. Louis Blues, 2011-12, 43 points. In a lockout-shortened season, 2012-13, just over 20 points. 2013-14, just over 45 points in 81 games. 2014-15 with St. Louis, again, just over 44 points. 2015-16 with St. Louis, again, 44 points. And, yeah, as I already mentioned, the season between St. Louis and Washington, 2016-17, where he had 56 points. And he wasn't always he's been a minus player a lot recently, but if I digress back to the 2014-15 season, in which he had 44 points, he was a plus 19 that year. And in 6 playoff games, he had 8 assists and was a plus 2. So pair him with the right guy, maybe Hedman, maybe it's McDonough. Who plays with him? A player on the left needs to be a bit more defensively conscious, I would think, alongside Shattenkirk. So there you have it. Again, let me know what you think down below. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Yeah. Sorry I've been away for so long once again, but I'll be popping these videos out on a much more frequent basis. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon.